Hello and welcome to another episode of Hearth and Hammer. How's everybody doing today? Good. He is. It's true. Um, it's an inside joke right there. Um, we are a family-friendly D&D show. Thank you for joining us, whether you're doing so live, watching on YouTube, or listening to a podcast. We are happy to share in this adventure with you, and we hope that you enjoy it. Tonight, we are getting to episode 23. It's very exciting. 23 sessions just for this campaign. So, also, I am rocking a sweet Exandria Unlimited shirt, which is the new Critical Role mini campaign they're doing right now. And I got it because it looks so good. So, anyway, they do. We do too. We're just real amateur. So, yes. Thank you, child. Yeah. I was talking about myself, so. If you missed our last shows, they will be up on YouTube and the podcast feed soon enough. But I've been on vacation and had other things. It's the summer, so I will have a big push, hopefully this coming weekend for that. But you can also catch us on Tuesdays at 9 p.m.-ish Central Time at twitch.tv/hearthandhammer. Be sure to hit that follow button so that way you know when we go live, because like tonight, I had something pressing that I had to get done, and I was late. So, but it's okay. I'm prepared. So, also, don't forget monumentstudios.net. They are amazing. They just sent out a huge update for the month of May and June. And I haven't even had time to process it all, but it's so good. I'm so excited. They do such an amazing work. And you can get any of their bundles, not just their all-in bundle, for 70% off thereabouts. But definitely their all-in bundle is 70% off. Some of them are a little less, but guys, it's just so good. You can also get a sweet mixer to mix all of your music and sound effects for your tabletop campaign, and it's a measly $4.99 a month. I'm serious, it's so good. Check it out, monumentstudios.net. # not sponsored yet. But we love them. They're fantastic. I've interacted with them personally. They are so cool, and there's only two of them. And they are doing amazing work. Yes, I know. So check them out as well. All right, well, with that, I think it's time to get into tonight's episode. Stop talking, child. Congratulations, you made the recording. All right, let's watch our video and get into it. Oh, yeah, it's totally in. I'm not cutting it out. So, no. All right. Well, where we left off last week on Hearth and Hammer, ambushed on the road, the adventurers fend off their attackers, and when they are set to deliver the final blow to the crafty captain, he yields, thwarting Theoden's plans. Calling for a cease in hostilities, the Udalot Knight Captain Lackland informs the heroes of their mission to track down and kill the crew and regain the Hupperduke supplies. However, Lackland negotiates for his companions' lives. When Theoden demands they surrender their weapons and be tied, the Udalots refuse, but Lackland offers his family's greatsword as a pledge of honor and promise that no others will come after the party. Jace and Pete then offer healing to the Udalots, frustrating Theoden that they acted without discussion. He is placated by Lackland's offer, however, and trudges off into the forest, letting them go with their lives. So, where we left off, Rowan headed off into the woods to catch up to Theoden, and the rest of you sat down to try to get the remainder of your night's rest. What would you like to do? Theoden, first of all, what are you doing? Just still trudging off into the woods? Is he though? Okay, awesome. Rowan, you went after him after your brief discussion with the group. Go ahead and roll a perception check. I'm gonna say with advantage because you have an angry dwarf walking through the woods right now. You can definitely hear him. Okay. He's not being subtle at all. Like you said, kicking tree branches, walking by, hitting, reaching up, slapping the leaves off on the branches, just making all sorts of sound. Yeah, probably hitting a few trees with his hammer. Yeah, he's easy to find. He's probably, a good 60 feet in front of you, though. How do you proceed? Let's see. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier. Why you gotta do that? Okay, say something. There we go.
Testing 1 2.
Yes.
Just checking.
Now it's there.
Checking
It's
the
there.
audio.
That's what happens when you reset your audio devices, people. Okay, Theoden, or Rowan, what are you doing?
If I can hear him, then I'm going to go ahead and storm after him. Oh. Or follow after him.
Stupid cleric. I'll just punch him in the face next time I see him. And that dumb halfling, I'll throw him over my shoulder, chuck him in the river.
Whoa, my microphone sounded weird. Does that sound better, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I just said that I walked towards him to catch up to him.
Okay.
Theoden.
I can barely hear him.
I finally I'll walk and kind of walk.
I've got short, stubby legs. You should be able to catch me.
And I'm walking and storming with him.
Okay.
Wherever we're going, just kind of strolling.
And what I'm doing is I went out a ways, but I'm essentially backtracking, circling the camp, so I'm not getting too far away, just in case something happens.
Yeah.
Stupid. Can you believe that, Bard? Can you believe what that stupid cleric decided to do? Like,
are you talking about how he brought him back to?
Brought him back. They could have taken him and just gone off with him, but no, we need to bring him back up. So if they decide to attack us again, they're back to full strength.
I don't agree with it either, Theoden.
Without even questioning anybody else. He just does what he wants, and then when we do what we want, throw an axe at somebody who's trying to kill him. Oh, Lord and help me. It's like, you better ask me first. Stupid cleric thinks he's holier than now.
Theoden, I think, I was upset that we left him alive. I was worried that they're hunting us down, trying to kill us, and we left them to where they can come back.
No, I
and
don't
conquer.
trust them. I don't trust them. All we did was pretty much rearm knives at our back. I mean, they've been hunting us for how long now, and we're just going to trust that they stop all of a sudden? Hey.
But I mean, I'm worried too. But we have to stay as a group and watch our backs as we head away. But if we were to kill them, I also see the side of they might have sent more after us and more after us. But now we showed grace and mercy. I don't know how this will pan out.
But the thing is these have to be the best, right? Who else are they going to send if the best group can't get us?
It's true. It's true. We are clearly the best out of everyone in Shady Creek. But you had said something. See, I was upset that we left him alive. It seems like you're more upset.
I didn't crush the warrior's skull once he hit the ground because Jace went all higher than mighty and got mad because I threw an axe in that one girl's back. And now he's mad. He wants to discuss if we let people live or not. But he didn't discuss anything with Thurden. Thurden's just his do-boy in his eyes.
So you're more upset that he made a decision without talking with you.
My thing is I would rather just kill them all. If they came at me with a blade, they die by my hammer. That's the way I've survived this many years. But, out of respect for him and Pete, they wanted me to just hold off killing everything. So what do? I stop. I stop for them. I let them pick his guy up and leave. And what does he want to do? No, that's not good enough. Instead, just decide whatever you want. I'm not okay with anything that went down. I'd rather have just either, and then we let them leave with their arms, and it was just, Lord.
I don't agree with it either, Thurden, but I think we have to. Well, what we've already done as the self-proclaimed heroes of Hupperduke, as our names grow, we still have to stick together.
I agree, but I think they have this misunderstanding that the hero has to be without blemish.
Yeah, I've come across a few people like this before that they want to do good. They truly want to do good, but they're not willing to get a little dirty in the process.
I've spent all this time doing good, as we put it, with my paladin troop, and sometimes the good is dirty in a way. I mean, you're not seeing we let these mercenaries live that are obviously willing to kill innocent people at the drop of a hat. At this point, if we let them go, who are they? They walk off. Who's the next contract they take? A local farmer and his family?
Yep.
A priest out, taking his morning prayer? Like, they're obviously bad people, and so we just let them walk. They're blades for hire. These kind of people kill at the drop of a hat as long as the coin is good enough for them. And we're just supposed to let them go back out and feel good about that? No, they should go to prison. They should be bound. They should have been marched back to Hupperduke, if not killed on the spot. They should have faced their crimes like a man. Instead, we let them scurry off to do whatever else evil deeds they want to do. And somehow that's justified. But me throwing an axe in the back of someone who was just trying to kill him himself, that's wrong.
I don't know if this group has truly seen the dark side of this world, and I'm not just talking about evil people. I'm talking about the corruption.
I think you're right. Between me and you, Bart, I've struggled with this for days, and it's just I don't know. I don't know if what I've seen in the world allows me to walk the same path that Jace and Pete are on. They have so much ambition for life to be good, and all I've seen of humanity is just death and turmoil.
Well, I believe this world is just full of chaos, and sometimes you just have to embrace the chaos.
Aye, but the
And
chaos sometimes means a hammer to the head.
I'm right there with you. You know, the man that we're hunting, people think he's such a great man, and he's protected by the way that all the money that he has, but he's enslaved a whole group of people, the people that were closest to me, and um, in my mind, the only way to stop him, because of how protected he is to kill him.
Aye.
And
Sometimes you have to take bad people out to make the world a better place.
and given the opportunity, this I will not stop. I'll have to do the I'll have to kill him. Even I know that it might upset the rest of the group, but
I'd be right there
from
with
my
you,
experience, this is the only way to stop the evil.
And that's the thing is as much as Jace is pure in his following of Ray, I understand that, but he has to understand that his mindset is unchanging. Then there has to be a balance to it in the world, meaning these evil people, we're going to come across some that may lie and deceit us to think that they would change their ways, but they're no different than him. If I asked him to turn into a thief overnight,
You're absolutely right.
he can't look through everything through a golden lens that Ray is going to be everywhere and do everything.
Maybe in this chaotic world, maybe there was a little bit of orchestrating for you to be the influence for him to see how this world is.
I've got my own troubles though, Bard. I've got my own things I'm dealing with in life, much more than to carry around a naive cleric who has no idea how the world works. He should have just stayed in whatever monastery he learned in and prayed to Ray till his days ended.
I think there's a side to him I'm not sure we've seen quite yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen some of the dark magic he's been able to do in these fights.
Aye.
Some of the necromantic and dark energies, and that's something you'd see probably more from
a necromancer.
Yeah, or
I've seen it on the battlefield before. I mean, I've seen necromancers raise huge armies, and we'd have to call on our deities to smite down the undead. But then a man of faith that speaks to such a clear deity raises a zombie from the dead and just has it walk around. I mean, what if that thing had gone and killed somebody?
All I'm saying is that there's probably more than meets the eye with him as well, and I think that we've all been doing some influencing upon each other since arriving in Huppaduke. We all arrived on the same day at the same time, and a battle happened. And sometimes as I think about just the chaos of it, that there might be a reason for it.
Aye, and I'm all for it. I believe that there's some plan the gods play. I've not yet decided whether we're mere pawns in a game they don't care about, or if maybe destiny plays a bigger role. But I do know this. I know that we can't go on this far. If I'm going to stay me hammer for him, he has to stay his holiness for me. It's got to be give and take. Third and Dawnbreaker's no man's slave.
I'm right there with you. And if there's ever a time that something needs to be done, know that I support you in making that decision.
I want to do it as a group. I think as I see us delve into battle over and over, I see us becoming more of a cohesive unit. Everybody's got their plays. I've been able to stand shoulder to hip with the halfling and fight alongside, and even found me shield blocking a few shots for myself. And the monk is off taking out the ones on the fringe, and I find Jace to actually be useful in combat. But I find his demeanor to be upsetting as far as how we can move forward and decide how we can accomplish tasks together. I don't see him bending any, and sometimes even the strongest oak has to move to be able to get something accomplished. It's just I've seen many folk like him grounded in their ways, and it always leads to destruction at the end. You have to be flexible. This world isn't black and white. It's so much gray. And I don't know if Jace will ever see the gray.
Well, all we can hope is to show them that as we continue on this path for now, and I believe all of us are continuing to stay together as the means to an end. So who knows how long we'll continue to stay together. And I just wouldn't get.
It needed a moment to clear me head, Bard. I was sticking around, as you can see, we're roaming around the campsite. I wasn't going to let them come back, and I'd feel horrible if I came back and all of you were slaughtered because you didn't have me shield wall. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I've seen too many friends die in battle. I just needed to get it off my chest. It's
That's why you can't get close to anyone. That'll happen.
Maybe one day Morden's favor will shine back on me, but until then, I just so much things to think about. It's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you feel like you're beating your head against what is a wall of a man.
Sounds as though Jace is just as stubborn as you are.
I'm pretty sure he's got a dwarven mother. Good Lord. I think he's only half human. He doesn't want to admit it. Good night.
He might have that dwarven stubbornness somewhere in his lineage.
I don't know. You know what we used to do, though? When my mom said I was too stubborn, she hit me over the head with a rock. Maybe I should try that with Jace.
I'd like to see that, actually.
Hey. And Thurden reaches down and picks up this, I'd say it's probably like soccer ball size rock. And he just kind of hugs it, thinking of the warm thoughts of home, and just allows Rowan to kind of steer him back towards the campsite.
All right. What, while that's going on, Lee and Pete and Jace, what are you guys doing?
At this point, I'm probably hunkered down by the fire, getting Chewy something to eat.
Okay.
I'm gathering everybody's sleeping bags and different things that we have put out. I'm going to throw it on the back of the cart. And
yeah, because you guys talked about moving.
Oh, we're moving, yeah.
And as I recall,
I'm just getting ready. I'm going to have the horses and everything that as soon as Rowan gets back, we can start moving again.
Okay.
I might be sitting down and taking a short rest if time allows it.
I think the intention was that you were going to try to move and finish your long rest.
Okay. Well,
so
if I could get a short rest in, I get all my key points, and then I can finish my long rest.
I don't know if we were gone for a full hour. I mean, we
no.
Strolling for a while.
I mean, maybe
we were
half
pretty
an hour.
Close.
Maybe half an hour, probably. But I feel like it would have been. I feel like they probably would have come back before, especially since you spent part of that time getting everything ready to go. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
As we're walking back, I want to say to Thurden, so if you ever being stubborn, should I just throw a rock at your head? That's what I got from it?
Aye. That's what my mother used to do.
It's good to know.
It's probably why I'm not very smart, but strong as a bull. I'm just petting the rock, thinking of the memories of what used to be and what will be when I smash Jace over the head with this rock.
And getting a rock thrown at you is loving and enduring from a mother?
I mean, she cares enough to correct me.
I'm kind of glad I never knew mine. It doesn't sound enjoyable.
If you had a dwarven mother, you'd know.
All right. About this time, you guys make your way back in. You weren't too far away since you've been kind of circling the camp. Probably making a good 2 or 3 circuits actually before turning and heading back in. Jace, Pete, and Lee, you see Theoden and Rowan come back in, and it's kind of an odd sight to behold as Lee comes in, or Theoden comes in, and he's just got a rock that he's kind of gently caressing.
Watch out, Chewie.
And he looks in a totally different demeanor than he did when he left. All right. Anything else before you guys move the campsite?
When Rowan gets closer to me, I'm going to lean over and say, "What spell did you cast on him?"
I'm not going to say anything to anybody, by the way. I'm going to walk. I'm going to put my rock gently in the cart and then just walk up and take my spot in front of the cart to pull it without saying a word to anybody.
Well, you do have horses.
We have horses.
Yeah. Oh, what? Do we have horses?
Yeah,
this
is
have horses
I've not been
for this
pulling this
cart.
thing?
This is
Oh,
the
okay.
big.
Well,
This is
the
the
cart with all
larger
stuff.
cart.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Then I'm gonna just put my rock in there and I'm gonna sit up in my seat, and that's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Okay.
without talking to anybody.
When Lee asks me that, I'm gonna say, "This one," and I'm gonna act like I'm gonna cast a spell on him and see what he does.
Is that a check or something?
You mean roll a deception check? And insight for you, Lee.
This is not good.
I love it says it before he even rolls.
Is
This
this
not good?
You said deception,
Yeah.
Well,
not
his deception
performance,
is
or
Uh,
persuasion?
No.
That's still a 22.
yeah.
22.
See, mine was a 10 plus 0.
Yeah. So you kind of get the feeling that like maybe he's making the motion for it. However, as you're familiar enough with spells to know it doesn't appear that he cast anything on you. Also, as an elf, you know you're pretty immune to
Being charmed.
or resistant to being certain charmed spells. So you're unsure what it was, but all right. So you guys make your way, further along into the forest. How long do you want to travel before you stop and make camp?
I'm gonna travel
11
about
minutes, 32 seconds,
yeah.
7 milliseconds.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
travel
I'm
about
still
50
listening.
feet ahead of the rest of the party.
Okay.
And just try to spot an area that's.
Okay. Are you guys trying to go stealthily? Are you trying to cover your tracks? Anything like that? Or you just
Aren't we
I
on a
would
road?
figure.
Yeah, we're on a road.
I would
yeah,
figure
you
we'd
were
try
like
to
maybe
cover our
just
tracks.
off of a road.
So
So,
we're
yeah.
gonna go back
Just
to
go
the
further
road,
down
head
the
down the
road.
road a ways. Then after we head down the road a ways for about 10 minutes or so, we would then go off the road again, cover our tracks, and find a cozy spot.
Okay.
Correct.
Pete and Rowan, go ahead and make survival checks to find a campsite and kind of cover your tracks.
It'd be a 19.
Mine jumped out, but that's a natural 1 or a 4 overall.
So Pete, you are just talking to the horses, loving them, tell them what good boys they are.
Listen, I know it's late. I know we had to wake you up again. There was a lot of noises. There was a lot of lights going on. Things got kind of loud. Honestly, you probably could have blown up. But I'm really proud of you. Look, we'll get you some snacks. We'll get to bed. Don't even worry about it. You'll get a nice long rest for the morning.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Rowan, you're like, and then you like just kind of steered off into the woods. Okay, so easy enough. You find another place to camp just off the road there. So you guys were about almost halfway through your night's rest. I would say, Lee, you probably have about another hour on your meditation to get to your night's rest, because you were still.
I thought
What?
that Pete was the one that was. I didn't think we had got to my meditation yet.
No, Pete was on watch while you were meditating.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, I'm dumb. I'm sorry.
We had our first watch. Pete was the second watch.
Yeah.
And it was about halfway through his 2-hour stint so that they attacked. So you've got about an hour left of your meditation.
Okay.
So, you guys do anything else before you kind of bed down?
I'll just kind of, this looks like a pretty good spot over here, and kind of get ready as we, maybe someone's making a little fire or something so we stay warm. And I'm going to, as I'm sitting, getting ready to rest, I'm going to think back to the responses of the group and almost remembering the little turmoils and struggles that the group argued with, that I used to travel with, and how there was these little arguments there as well, but they're still driven for one thing. And a bit concerned for how close I'm realizing I'm becoming to the rest of the group.
Okay.
I'm going to take my rock out, and the moment he turns his back, I'm going to chuck this thing at the back of his head.
Okay. Make a... Let's see. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, come. You may...
Wait, who's he throwing this at?
You'll find out. Oh, that's fine. Dirty 20.
Okay. Jace, make a dexterity check.
That's his strong suit too.
No,
I see this.
It'd be an 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means so your sleight of hand was good. He didn't see it coming. However, now go ahead and roll for an attack. As a, it's going to be basically a simple thrown weapon.
So what do I add to? What modifier do I add to it? I got a 16 plus whatever modifier you want me to add to it.
You're going to
Would be his dex, right? Because he's not proficient with rock.
Yeah, you're not proficient with it, so it's going to be...
I'm proficient with
dex.
Simple weapons.
Yeah.
A rock is the simplest of all.
It's not.
That's a
it's not the
simple
same.
weapon.
Okay.
It
then
is
you can add
technically
your.
an improvised
Then you can add
weapon.
you can add your proficiency bonus then.
And okay, I mean, so proficiency in Dex or just proficiency?
No, just proficiency.
Okay, that makes it 19.
Okay, so you surprisingly
And I'm not
get the
chucking it to
rock
kill him.
out. Right. You get it, and I mean, like, you guys are still
The
geared
soccer
for
ball
battle.
size rock, I feel like that could kill me.
Yeah, if I threw it
You're
with
still
all 30
geared for
strength.
battle, kind of thing. Heals,
Hits his helmet. Tink.
you are getting stuff together to kind of get your kind of bedroll out and everything, and all of a sudden you stand up and you feel more your shoulder than your head, but kind of like your back and your shoulder. So it does kind of clang off of your half plate armor there, and you feel this like rock hit you pretty hard for just being as big as it is, and you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
As this happens, I did roll a 23 to be able to see that sleight of hand.
Okay, sure.
Can I very quickly, like, as I see Jace almost responding, like he gets hit by the rock, and he's like, "Don't worry, he thinks he's your mother."
Yeah, because when it hits, like I respond like I just got hit by an enemy, and so I turn around immediately on defense with guiding bolt ready to go.
What you gonna do?
And
You
like-
gonna heal me to death?
Gosh, no.
What did you do that for? I'm trying to go to sleep.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry there, cleric. Should I?
I'm trying to
Should
get
I
in
have
between them.
requested your permission?
All right.
To throw a
Um,
rock at me? Yes. A small boulder, yes. I would
It's-
prefer not to be hit with that.
He meant it to
I-
be enduring. It's something his mother did to him when he was being stubborn, Jace. It's
This
supposed to
explains
be-
so much, actually.
It's supposed to be like a
It
family
does.
thing. Like he thinks he's your mother in this or something.
I'm gonna reach down and pick up a
What?
small one, and throw it at Pete. Just like pebble size. I just sound like a pebble size rock.
Pete, by this, you're fully aware of it. And
I figured as much.
Rowan, roll a... or I mean, Jace, how do you want to respond, Jace?
At this point, I'm just yelling.
Okay, all right.
All right. I realize this is maybe something you have going on between you and your mother that I do not understand. But please, next time, I prefer words, not rocks.
I would have preferred you use some words earlier, too.
Well, Jace, could you have used some words earlier?
Like what words?
Like, I don't know. Hey, group, should we heal the guy we just knocked out?
Those are great words, Jace.
Those are good words. It felt like a pretty simple decision. Think about the mindset. I was establishing
It felt like a
dominance.
pretty simple decision for me to throw an axe into the back of that one girl, too.
The girl who was already laying down unconscious?
Yup.
They were defeated. Even this party was still defeated. They surrendered. They gave themselves up. Why
And
don't
they
we
can take
establish
the
ourselves?
whipping and
We
they
are
can
the
go down
dominant
the
group.
street. They can go down the street. All you did was bring him back to full strength. And if they come back while we sleep again, then what, Jace?
Then we beat them again.
And then so
They
you can
don't
heal them
stand a
back up
chance.
for round 3?
If they would like. If they like getting
Aye.
their butts handed to them that many times.
I'd point at you
Well,
and
what we
tell them
just
they
did
could
is we
have
found
you with that, no
ourselves
issue.
on the good side of someone who wanted to hurt us.
You guys, you're
That's now
scaring
the
the
house.
horses. Leave it
Aye.
alone.
Good side.
Listen, we're all
I don't think
tired.
you understand.
It's time to go to bed. Okay, sleep it
Aye.
off. We'll have breakfast in the morning. I'm already planning on making extra rations.
I don't even have me start with you, Halfling.
Listen,
You over there
look-
healing him as well.
Listen,
Good Lord.
you should know that any warrior should be able to walk himself off a battlefield. after he's
He
been
wasn't a warrior. He fell in battle to be healed by his own friends, not ours.
I'm kind of with Thurden here. They weren't necessarily warriors. They were assassins trying to attack us in our sleep.
No, listen, I didn't like that either. However,
I mean, I don't
did
like that they
also
tried to
not
kill
want
us.
to be
Obviously.
attacked again. Like everything that I did because I wanted it to be done with. I wanted them to leave, and we've
Indeed.
obviously had already had our conversation about killing people that are down. Like yes, they were already down.
So the only thing we have to talk about is when Thurden wants to do something.
Well, Thurden takes a life. Jace saves one.
Oh, so Jace is now the decider of what we communicate as a group and what we don't.
It didn't
okay.
feel like something that needed to be communicated.
You know, by
It was
killing
the
them,
right thing to do.
we could have also just saved our lives because they may never come back for us because
Our lives are fine. They
dead.
could not take us if they tried. They came,
or if they go back,
they
regroup,
failed.
get more.
Bring them.
Well, if we would have killed them, they probably would have sent more anyway.
They
what
would
they
have.
sent them to? We would
This
have been
possibly
gone.
made an ally out of who was once an enemy.
If
who
you
would
think
not
those
have
people will
attacked us.
ever be our ally, Jace, you're mistaken.
Perhaps not ally, but maybe not enemy. Maybe they don't send assassins because now we're on their good side and we have their crest thing.
You naive child!
And even Anwin, who read minds, said that this was a good man.
Oh yeah, let's take the fairy's word on everything now.
Anwin, can you turn him into a pigeon? I would quite like that.
He does, and the first person
Roll-
I'm smacking is
Roll a
you.
perception check.
Who?
Me?
Yeah, Jace.
14.
Okay.
That's what I have a high in.
You don't actually see anyone.
Don't even
Weird.
get me started on the stupid fairy pet.
I like the fairy.
I bet you
kind.
do. I bet you
Compassionate.
do.
Caring.
Yeah.
You-
I
Things
care.
lacking.
I kill them to keep you alive, Jace.
And perhaps killing was not the right answer in that moment.
Funny, if it wasn't for me hammer and me shield, you'd already been dead.
Perhaps. I'm not saying that we did not need the battle. I'm not saying you weren't needed in the battle and that violence was not the answer in that moment, but they surrendered. They gave themselves up. We could have killed them in that moment and they'd have just sent more. Whereas
Aye.
we might have found ourselves, perhaps not an ally, but at least we've lost an enemy.
You keep saying we, Jace. You made the decision on your own.
Well, the lead guy seemed to like it all right that we saved one of his people. And he
I
said
bet
that
he did
he
like
gave
it
us his
that you
word
helped
and
him
his
out.
crest
Whose
thingy.
side were you on?
I was
I
clearly on
just
our
want to say at
side.
this point, when this discussion started, I went off about 10,
Okay.
15 feet off into the shadows and started my trance.
Okay.
I
Good
want
call,
to
'cause we're pretty loud right now.
join in the yelling, but it's more to yell at Pete because he's had snacks this whole time while this is going on, and he hasn't offered to share anything.
Pete's popping popcorn
And-
in his
and
mouth.
And Pete's over here
Hey,
eating snacks and not sharing them.
I told you I was trying to prep rations for breakfast.
With
But
how
you're
loud they're
eating
being,
them.
I'm probably not.
You know
actually
he eats when he's
trancing.
stressed.
I'm just kind of off, considering everything that they're saying. What's just kind of meditating on both sides.
Sure.
Pete, can I have some of those snacks while they're yelling at each other?
You yelled at me.
I Hadlin.
I'm just hangry.
Yeah, we're all hungry. You've got your own snacks right now. I'm not.
My
just
issues
saying
with
we're-
my issues with both of you. You ask me to stay me hammer from driving the killing blow, which I do. I thought the man felled you, Pete. And what did I do? I knocked him unconscious. I didn't kill him.
What do you mean you thought he felled me?
You dropped. I went at him. I dropped him too. I left him there. And then what do you guys say? You guys say, oh no, Thurden. Jace has this loving conversation with Thurden about how, oh, Thurden, please, for the sake of the group, communicate if we're going to make a decision that affects us all. And then Jace and Pete just do whatever they want, whenever they want, and it's only Thurden's decisions that are questioned.
Now I will
See if
say,
Hammer,
this
see if
decision was
Hammer
one-
stayed next time.
all right, we will see. But this was one, yes, a decision based on compassion. It was the right thing to do. They surrendered. They gave up. I helped their
It
man
was
off
not
the
the
battlefield.
right
That's all
thing
I
to
did.
do.
In
Again,
your opinion,
it was the right thing in your opinion.
indeed.
You never asked
was.
the group. You asked me
I did
to
not.
make sure to make decisions based on what the group wants. And if I'm going to swing me hammer to save your life and use me shield to block the arrows that come at your face, I expect human decency from you, human.
Oh,
I
okay,
expect you
okay.
to share the
Third-
the same rules you keep for
Hold on,
Third
hold on
and
one second.
Dawnbreaker for Jace Faraday.
Thurden, just take a breath here. Here, just
Hey,
talk to me for a second. Just take a breath, breathe it in. You know, I know you're angry. What if instead of yelling, you know, as we make so much noise here in the woods, there's gonna be things that's gonna hear. They're gonna show up. We snuck off to this spot. What if we just take a breather for a little bit? Why don't we let Jace kind of walk away, maybe off camera for a little bit to think about, and maybe even just kind of handle some other thoughts for a little bit. And as he did, we just do some breathing exercises.
hey, I don't
Breathe
need, I
in,
can breathe just
Third,
fine.
third in through the nose. Go ahead.
Hey,
Deep in through the nose.
hey.
And
know,
out.
Pete, for people who talk about
No, those are words. That's not
the
breathing.
life of
Those are-
nature, there's also death. Otherwise, that life gets choked out. We can't heal everybody we come apart. And some people are going to leave without the life in their body. It's just going to have to happen that way.
You're not wrong.
Hey, I'm going to sleep.
Okay, so
I just storm off,
Third and-
ticked off, and just lean up on a tree.
Thurden
listening to him talk.
now Thurden seems to have gathered, or Jace seems to have gathered his thoughts. He's here. He's present again.
Jace, did you have anything else to add?
Just a little bit
Sure.
All
So before you're storming off, Thurden.
before you storm off.
Okay.
And also, not even from a compassionate standpoint, us healing them said we are not afraid of you, that we are the greater warriors in this moment. Us healing them and having that kind of decency, I feel like puts a little bit of fear in them. Also, it gets us on the good side. The conversation we had afterwards, which I know you weren't very fond of, but that conversation seemed to go very well. And we got some promises from them that we did not have before. If we just killed them in that moment, they would still be coming after us. At least at this moment, there's a possibility that they don't.
And
Didn't
who
you
did
say
they
that
go
it's
after
because
next, Jace?
they gave us an emblem? Couldn't we have just taken it off their dead body and had that emblem ourselves and be able to show it at another
Well,
time?
we also have the good word of the leader who's going back
Oh,
to the Udawats saying,
Good
hey,
word
these
of
people didn't kill us
killers.
and
The
they're kind
good
to
word
us.
of killers. Yes. Let's take your
Killers,
word,
they came
Jace.
after us
Okay,
because we came after them.
And if they kill a farm, if they kill a farmer and his family next to the coin, the person you healed may be the one that drives the striking blow on that innocent person. You're going to live with
Anwin
yourself,
seemed to
then,
believe
Jace?
that he was a good man.
Anwin
I
is
have no.
one
I've
person.
yet to have a reason to believe the Udawats are the bad family. We followed the suggestions of a man that we barely outdrank to go and rob this place. We still have no reason to believe the Udawats are even the bad family.
I told you, Bard, like a wall. Naive
We
in the
followed
ways
the
of
words
the
of
world.
a drunk guy in a bar. Come on, let's be real.
I just walk
Jace,
off.
That's really
I
our
just
best
walk off
decision.
from- I just walk off from him.
Jace, listen.
I let
look,
Rowan
his
talk
issue
to him.
isn't necessarily the decision that was made. It was that you made a decision without consulting the rest of the party. That was his bigger concern. And so, could you,
Sure.
in the future, think about all the wants and all the desires as a party, as a group, before you just make a decision on your own?
Perhaps, but I would say that in that situation, had the party disagreed, I still would have had a hard time leaving him there to die.
I completely understand. And that could have been voiced before a decision was made.
Understood.
Okay. Now I need you to say at least one nice thing about Thurden before we go to bed.
I've done stormed off at this point. I've done left as soon as you start talking to me. I have no interest in talking to Jace at all.
All right. And when he says that, I say, good night. And then I go and find a tree to lean back against.
Okay.
And I walk over and try to grab one of the snacks that Pete has before he goes to
Pete, do you try to stop him or do you share?
He's in shock.
I think I'm pretty just indifferent now. Like
Okay.
if he's gonna reach into whatever pouch I have, it's just gonna happen.
Okay.
As I cautiously reach and he's zoning out.
Sure.
I rolled a 16 of something. I don't know if
He
I'm modified.
doesn't try to stop you, it seems. So you're able to reach down to grab it. Okay. So
It's
the
horse feed, by the
quiet
way.
comes over the camp. And Pete, do you finish kind of the rest of your watch, your hour? that you
Well, I
ordered
guess
your watch?
everyone else is going to sleep. So,
You're just sitting there eating some.
Or let me eat horse feed.
That would have been the greatest thing. He reaches in the bag and it's actually horse feed.
That's what he whispered
that's
to
what I
me.
said.
Yeah.
It's a whisper, by the way.
So,
Perfect.
I guess I'm finishing it.
Okay, so you finish. You easy enough. You finish up your watch. Lee, there's finally an hour of quiet, and you're able to complete your meditation. Pete is almost nodding off over there because he's still injured and hasn't healed himself.
Because all
But,
of our healing spells were used on the other
Pete,
people.
you get to go Theoden, you're asleep.
Sorry, I didn't know he was injured. I wasn't
No,
actually
actually,
good last
there
week.
was there was a spell of greater healing at the end of the fight that got me back to full HP.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Pete, you're able to go lay down and
Restock
finish
myself.
finish your long rest. Lee, go ahead and roll a perception check.
That would be a 13.
Okay.
Please let these people come back.
You get into the first part of your watch, and the shouting and the yelling and the noise from the horses and the carts has finally died down for several hours, and you're starting to hear the kind of like nighttime forest noises creep back in. It's comforting, and you're able to hear, the birds and the owls and the crickets and all of the little creatures that kind of inhabit the forest slowly begin to just completely come back in.
Wolves attack in the night.
Wolves.
Oh, Lord.
Gotta watch out for that one.
That startled me. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually jumped in real life. That scared the bejesus out of me. Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, Thurden was away. I was asleep. Thurden dies of a heart attack. Jace
It's
has
okay.
nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing happens on that first part of your watch. Go ahead and roll one more perception for the second half of your watch.
12.
Okay. You get to where there's about a little bit of twilight. Early in kind of the gray morning before anything happens. And you see kind of around you some morning flowers. But they're kind of blooming, and it's kind of going in a zigzagging path around, you know, in a kind of a wide arc around the glade that you are in. And these flowers are opening and opening and opening, and it kind of zooms in a little closer, the path of these flowers opening, and then cross a clearing. There's no more flowers, and then you slowly hear and you hear Anwen return, and she lands next to you and reveals herself. And she says,
Where have you been?
I was watching the other party.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A bit of a stressful night last night.
Yes, I understand. There was lots of yelling. I don't really like yelling, so I decided to be helpful and make sure that they were true to their word. Although I know that some of you might not believe me, but I know that they were telling the truth. But they did.
People's
They
minds do
left.
change occasionally. Yeah. I think hopefully this morning there'll be a little less yelling. Maybe they've had time to sleep on it and to think about the outcomes. I know myself, I'm going to have to meditate on it a little bit longer before I've reached a decision on what I think about what we did.
She which it's, you know, it's an interesting sight, you know, this 10-inch tall pixie sitting here looking very contemplative and serious, which is not normal for her, even in the short time that you've known her. And she says, you know, it's all right. I understand, you know, a lot of times people don't trust pixies or things that we say. And I get that. I think that a lot of people do know, though, that we are sensitive to what others are thinking and feeling. But to prove that I wasn't lying, I watched them, and they traveled back down the road, and were still traveling when I decided to come back.
Well, thank you for giving us peace of mind on that.
You're welcome. I'm going to go to sleep now.
Aye.
And she stands up and stretches, yawns, this, you know, really big for a tiny person yawn, and gets up and flutters over to the wagon, and she disappears, but you see like a little in like one of the sacks as she kind of, you imagine she invisibly kind of curls up on one of the sacks in the back of the wagon.
I'm going to use my remainder of the time before anybody wakes up. I feel pretty confident in my opinions on last night, but I'm just going to continue to meditate on them a little bit longer and see if that time and thought has changes my mind on anything.
With that, you're able to continue that meditation, and the twilight, graying early morning slowly turns to color, and you're able to see the shafts of sunlight start to pierce through the foliage of the forest beside you as you start to see the rest of the group begins to rouse. You all awaken and greet the new day, and you may take your long rest.
Okay.
I have intentionally tried to be the first one awake. I have made extra breakfast, and in Thirdens I put a smiley face.
Okay, all right. Roll for
How
delicious
it turns out.
how delicious it turns out. No, roll for let's see. Let me look at your thing actually here.
As a dwarf,
Roll
I
either
held grudges for a long
performance
time.
or roll for You know what? You could roll nature. You're
Okay.
cooking.
You said performance, and I started
I know.
sweating.
You're like, "Ugh."
It is an 18 plus 4.
Okay.
So.
Theoden, it is surprisingly the best looking plate of food you've seen in a long time.
It'd probably be
and
good
there's
if I ate it.
there's a
I don't care about anyone else's.
It's set
so much
before
because
you. You know, whether you choose to eat it or not is up to you. But it is there, and it's smells delicious and inviting. Theoden, roll. Roll for me a Constitution.
Uh, 11 plus
Okay.
2, 13.
Okay. You are able to resist this delicious food, although your stomach is really hungry. So until you choose, it sits on this plate waiting for you.
I stare
okay.
really hard at Pete.
Pete, do you take notice of his silent stare?
Is it like an angry stare or like I'm mad that
It's
you
a-
made food so good?
No. It's a trying to figure out what this is stare. Like, is this a I'm sorry or a don't be mad at me or a
Roll an
I'm
insight
glad you're
there,
in a
then.
better I'm glad you're in a better mood kind of thing. I'll take that. That's a nat 20.
Okay.
It's
Pete.
it's a like I know you're mad and I'm trying to figure it out and like do better by you, but this is what I know right now is like you've always been my breakfast buddy. So I'm
I
just
nod
hoping
my
that-
head. I nod my head and eat.
All right. Theoden, it's amazing. Like for road
figured it would
rations,
be.
it's like somehow he has found spices and
With big
flavors
flowers and
that are
stuff.
amazing.
He's about to tell me the pics he got this
You
morning.
know,
He's
you know,
about
you
to tell
don't
me
even
the
know.
stinking pics he got
So-
this and I'm gonna throw it.
But as you all are getting ready for the morning, Pete, you do notice that after the food has been cooked and everything, and everyone's kind of making their way to the fire, you do hear the familiar flutter as she, fully visible at this point, comes and floats and sits down on a rock that's somewhat closer to the fire. Kind of like rubs her hands together, warms them, you know. To her, what is like this bonfire at this point, basically. And kind of twirls around and flutters and says, "Do you have any for me? I would love some
Absolutely.
breakfast."
I made sure to make enough for everyone, but his was just a little special.
Oh, absolutely. That is the best looking breakfast I've ever seen.
Anyway, thank you for the flowers this morning. It's
Oh, I hope you like them. And
helping.
if you know the party, as he says that, anyone who's within earshot notices that there's full, vibrant, blooming flowers, pretty much in a circle all the way around you guys, and you know, flowers that you may or may not know, flowers that you know, you're not sure if they would even be blooming at this time of morning or this time of year, but they are just full and vibrant, and it's definitely not normal. So, but it's there, and it's a nice greeting in the morning. But she says, "Well, I already told Lee, but I did follow the other party last night, and I watched them travel back down the road towards Shady Creek, and I followed them for several hours, so they were a good many miles away before I came back. So I hope that helps you rest easy for the remainder of your trip." And she goes and perches up on the wagon, kind of nibbles at her breakfast.
Well, Aelin, it does and it doesn't, but thank you. I guess I'm climbing up into the wagon if we're ready to go.
I'm making sure to clean the plate completely.
Okay.
Yep. I got up, had some food, made some coffee. Then Chewie and I are ready to go.
Okay. So you all pack up and make your way down the road. As you travel, go ahead and make a who's in the driver's seat? Is it still Pete
So
and
me and
Fairden?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
usually driving you.
Go ahead and make either both of you make a perception or one with advantage.
I'm probably steering, and this is gonna not go well. But
I've got, was it 14 plus
Okay, for perception. Perfect.
plus 0, so 14.
14. Okay, awesome. Yes, and then Pete, let's roll an animal handling check, shall we?
oh, the one thing I'm good at. That is a 15.
15.
Luckily,
Okay.
I was asleep on the wagon, so they didn't leave me. I was still sleeping.
Yes. With a 15, you know, you were actually able to get the horses moving, and even though you know that they are tired, having been woken up by battle and then shouting, they get on their way, and they are making pretty good time this morning. All right, so you guys travel for a good several hours. The sun rises overhead, and the trees and that you haven't been traveling in dense forest. You've been traveling in clumps of trees with kind of hills and lots of undergrowth and shrubs and everything, but it hasn't been just like full forest. But as you make your way into the afternoon, you do see what looks like a thin, dark line on the horizon. Roll an intelligence check.
Me?
Anybody.
I'm going to be walking behind the cart.
Oh
just
boy.
Still
14.
Okay.
contemplating the previous night's events.
I rolled a 14. Actual, just 14 because I have
That beats my 3.
Okay.
So
So a few of you remember that this was the wood that was north on the road from Hupperduke. It took you about a day or a little less than a day to travel through it the last time. But you do remember that, and you realize that it's probably a couple hours out from you at this point.
So we still have like a day back to Hupperduke? Is that what it was?
Yeah, you knowing that this is the wood north of there, and that it took about a day to get through it. Yeah, you notice there's about probably one more sleep before you get back to Hupperduke. So, with that, you continue on, and it's from you're coming out of the rolling hills and into kind of a grassland area with the road is fairly well traveled. Again, this is a well-known road within the Empire here now. You are off the you are back on the beaten path as opposed to off the beaten path, and you are heading back on the road to Hupperduke. As you get closer to the woods, who's keeping watch?
I'll be sitting on the back of the wagon looking behind us.
I'll be looking in front of us.
So Jace and Theoden both go ahead and roll perception.
Oh, nat 20. So 27.
7.
This whole time while we're traveling, I'm practicing and learning how the gun works and everything.
Okay. So you're inspecting
Alright.
it and everything.
My daughter's roll rainbow dice is my new favorite.
Perfect. Okay, so Rowan, you're studying the weapon that you've got, looking over the craftsmanship, working the clockworks of the trigger and the hammer, making sure you kind of study it, know it all. So sitting on top, easy enough to do. All the while as you're doing this, every once in a while, Anwin would get up and kind of fly up above the cart, and then fly forward and to the left and to the right, and then she would come back as well and get back in the cart. With the nat 20, Jace, the sky is blue, the clouds are big, and just it's a really nice day as you approach, getting closer to Hupperduke, and you notice things that you didn't notice on the way out before, as it was a different time of day. But you notice things that you notice where you were attacked previously on the way back by some of the bandits of some kind, and you notice as you pass by, there's doesn't seem to be any signs of it, but with that roll, you definitely remember this was the place that we were attacked. But it's also because you're sitting in the back and looking backwards, you also realize you've already passed through it. And it's not, you've passed through that choke point, that ambush point, and it's, nothing seems to have happened. So, all right. So now, lastly, as you are making your way, the forest looms closer. You do see the large trees. It's a much denser forest than before. Somebody roll a history or intelligence check.
I can roll history.
Okay, go for it.
It'll be a 15.
Okay. So knowing what you know, you're not the most well-traveled or studied, but you do know a few things about the Empire, having grown up in it. And you know that the forest that you are coming upon is called, if I can find it, you can't quite recall the name, but you know that that it's a pretty docile wood, but that there are some furbolgs that live within the wood, usually deeper back, and they tend to avoid travelers. So, but you do have that nugget in your back of your mind. As you get closer, the sun is starting to go down a little bit, and do you continue into the woods, or do you make camp before you enter them? To the party.
Did we kind of pause and we're talking about it, I guess?
Sure.
So,
Whatever you want to do.
I mean, we can either push into the woods, find a nice cozy spot somewhere hidden inside there, and make camp. However, we're closer to whatever lives in those woods. We would make camp outside of the woods. Any travelers or bandits like we were attacked before have a better side of us. What would you guys like to do?
How far away are we from Upperduke?
So you know that the woods that are just north and east of Hupperduke is the Crisp Vale Thicket. And once you reach it, it's about another day's travel to get into Hupperduke. So seeing
Well,
as
I
how
didn't
it's
know that,
evening,
though, right? That's-
seeing as how it's evening time, you would have, I mean, you know, you may have recalled it
Okay.
having come closer. You did travel this way already.
He was our
Um,
map guy on the way out.
That's
It's
true.
true, you were. And if you remember last time, you actually left later in the day, which meant that you camped in the woods last time. But then, you know, you were out of the woods by lunch the next day. So, like I said, it's a little less than a day's travel through the woods.
Perhaps we should just push on through the night and try to just head to Hupperduke without stopping, or lessen our chances of getting attacked.
We'll make it the quickest way.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay.
I'm game if you fellas are.
Okay, sure.
Fine.
All right. So, as you roll forward and you reach the edge of the wood, the sun is going down to kind of to your back and a little bit, and you enter the wood that is, even though you know it's not night yet, it's getting darker, and it's much darker within the trees. Go ahead and roll. Pete, go ahead and roll animal handling with disadvantage.
Yeah, sure.
The horses are tired.
Great. So that's an 11.
Sleepy horses.
Okay. As you enter the woods, you're still getting to coax, more out of the horses, and as it's still kind of now like a twilight as you enter the road here. It's not full dark yet, so you're able to keep them on the road and keep them from stumbling or hitting large rocks or branches in the path. So you all continue on. Within about an hour of entering the wood, it gets pretty dark. I think all of you except for Jace have dark vision. Okay. So Pete, you're able to see far enough into the darkness to see things.
I'm
But go
kind of
ahead
helping
and
him while I'm up there too.
yeah, absolutely. And so you're able to notice most things. Even still, it's pretty dark as you continue on. As you continue through the night, go ahead and roll another animal handling with disadvantage.
I was right. 8.
Okay. All right. So you're able to continue to coax, the horses on a little bit, and you do notice they are starting to slow down a little bit as they continue forward. You stop to rest them a few times during the day, but you do notice that it's you do notice that they have slowed down, and so it's taking you a little bit longer as you go through here. You think that you think they should be able to make it, but they're going to be tired, and they're going to be spent, to be sure. Go ahead and roll, if you would. Let's see, Lee and Theoden, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Nat 20. Get
Nice.
that pretty cracking. I like this dice already.
19.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Your previous night's encounter has left you on high alert, and you peer into the woods, and you see, the night animals that move from tree to tree, scurrying away from the noise of the horses. You see glowing eyes on unseen animals, usually by themselves, that disappear. And you hear noises that are around you, but not coming closer. One more time, Pete, go ahead and roll animal handling with disadvantage. As he's doing that, you guys do come to the turn in the road. There's a crossroad within the Crispvale thicket, and you do turn, moving towards Hubberduke. Easily enough spotted with that roll.
10.
10. Okay. Okay. Pete, the horses are doing okay. They haven't slowed down anymore, but they are definitely, one is pulling a little harder than the others is, and but you're continuing on. You kind of get the sense they've realized that they're close to the end of their journey. With that, you all continue moving through the night, and you will all take a point of exhaustion.
Except for me.
Except for Theoden.
Is that
And
something we
How do
actually
we
mark
mark
down
that
on the
in-
sheet?
It's conditions, I think.
yes.
Conditions at? Where's conditions at?
It's
well,
going to
here's
be
this
right
fictional
next to
thing you talk about.
defenses under your HP.
It says
Gotcha.
add an active condition, and you
Boom.
click it.
Level
Just
1
click in the
exhaustion.
field.
Got it.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's fancy.
So you begin Theoden, what is it that prevents you from getting the exhaustion?
Oh, it's something in the door if I'm pulling it up now.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't actually know if that's true. I know you have advantages on
Yeah, let me pull it up.
checks, but this is
It's
you
sleep. I can
skipping-
go. I can go without 1 day of sleep. Let me pull it up here real quick.
I was gonna say I don't think that is a thing in 5e because you do have dwarven resilience, which gives you advantage on saves against poison and resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just
Let's see.
Is it under maybe my mountain dwarf? Right? Maybe my mountain dwarf.
Is it a mountain dwarf thing?
Oh, that's what I'm reading now.
I was gonna say because that should be underneath your.
Yeah, that's what
traits.
I was looking. I'm looking. I know I've read it somewhere. I'm trying to remember where I read it at.
Okay. Well, while you look, if you don't find it soon, and if it's not in your character sheet,
Yeah, you're fine.
then
I'll mark it.
go ahead and mark it, for now. But you all are tired, and it's probably still a couple of hours from sunrise, but you exit the woods and on the road and see the inviting sight of Hubberduke. The main gates are closed, but you can tell there's still plenty of lights on. As you know, Hubberduke is always awake. They work hard and play harder, and even though they've got to be at work the next morning, some stay up well into the night. You also see lights of activity as people are already going about their daily jobs. And you have probably about half an hour's travel to the gate. As you reaching it, just as it starts to kind of the gray twilight sets in again. So you come to the gate. It is shut, but there is a guard on top that are quite alert, being early morning. They're probably freshly on shift. One raises a lantern, a hooded lantern that projects a good beam out over across you and says, "Halt! Who goes there? What brings you out at this ungodly time of the morning?"
I'm pretty sure we'd be letting.
We
Rowan
are
Yeah, I just look at Rowan.
I'm pretty sure we all just
like
slowly.
half
talk to this
asleep.
man.
Yes. We're so tired. We are the heroes of Hubberduke. You might have heard us. We helped save the town. We were tasked
Hold on.
by.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
We were sent on a mission, and we are returning from that mission with the supplies that were possibly stolen from Hubberduke. We have a badge, I think, from the beginning that I forget what's his name gave to us.
You pull it out.
And I
yeah,
want to show.
okay.
Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. We were all
You
given
pull
these
it out and he says, "Well, why didn't you show that in the first place?"
because we're tired and we've been traveling through the night.
All right.
To get back as quick as we
Very
could.
well. And he motions over and he says, "Oi, open the gate." You hear the as the doors slowly slide open, and you take the wagon in and head towards.
We'll be taking this too. I guess we didn't discuss this, but I know we're
Well,
supposed
we
to bring
have
this back
goods to take to.
to the Hearth and Hammer,
Hearth and
but
Hammer.
we also need to bring it to Chase. You met with her, right?
Yes.
What was that? I'm sure with
Her name, yes, she had one.
yes, I'm sure it'll come to you at some point.
Yeah, I'll think of it as well.
We'll need to bring these hush hush to her, maybe contacting her.
Of course.
Oh, I have an idea.
You mean Nima?
No.
No, not
no,
Nima.
no. The leader of the city. She had a
Yes.
name.
You
Man,
remember
we need some
title-
rest, guys.
The title of the leader is the Starosta.
Yes, the Starosta. That was Starosta, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, we should meet with her first thing in the morning. Where can we store
I don't want
this?
to leave these supplies.
Maybe
in
take
there.
this to our base.
What time is it right now? You said it's
It's
like 3
like
a.m.
it's a little later than that, but you're going on like between 5 and 6 a.m. Probably closer to 6 at this point, where it's like I said, the light is like just now making everything kind of gray, and you've got further vision, but it's like slowly starting to come back up. You're also now in town and traveling through the streets, and it's not there are some street lamps and everything throughout, so you've got a pretty good sense of what time it is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still pretty early, probably like 6 a.m.
She's probably going to be awake pretty soon. We can probably meet with her.
Perhaps we
And
could
also reach
go
out
to
to my
Hearth
contact.
Hammer and just leave everything there, and Wiltix and Brackle could give us a room for the night.
I'm sure they might have a place where they could stow all
This
of
is
this.
Pretty
now.
sensitive materials, though. Are we comfortable just allowing someone else to stow this way?
I mean, it's
Let's go to the Hearth
Wiltix
Hammer.
and
Rowan, roll a intelligence check.
Intelligence, that's 14. Yeah, not bad.
Okay. You do remember your contact from the Firemark
Yes.
facility, Tanbar.
Yeah. My thought was that calling him now, he may not be awake, and I might have to.
Yes.
I guess it's a mess.
It was just more of you remember that's your contact for the stolen goods.
Okay. I'm going to suddenly remember my contact that I had with the stolen goods, and I'm going to pull out my spell stone, and I'm gonna. We have returned with the stolen goods. We are back here in Habaduke. Let me know where these should be taken. Let's be urgent and get this done quick.
Does he do this in front of us?
And I hang up.
Do you do this in front of us?
Yeah.
Oh. That'd be the first time he's done it in front of us, though, right? 'Cause I don't think last time he talked to you first.
Yeah, I don't think he used the stone in front of you last time. Okay. Yeah, so you're able to obviously you send the message. You don't hear anything immediately. Where do you continue on?
I guess we'll head to the Hearth Hammer for now, and I'll let you guys know if one of my contacts responds.
Hey, is that what that little stone is for, the bard?
Yes.
And who are these contacts?
This is someone who led us on to the things were being stolen. It was who I was meeting with that night before I was attacked. This is our way of staying in contact with each other without others knowing. Now, that's who this contact is, but my past, I might have a few contacts that like to be discreet that we might be able to leverage.
Okay. So you guys head to the Hearth and Hammer, and we will take a short break. I know it's already late, but just quick little break.
Sure.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it's actually mine that I can eat. We have other
Sure.
It's
make
mine
his own
that I
food.
can eat. For
He's
those
like,
of
I
you
paid
just
for it.
joining us, we are
This
back.
is
Did you wait?
store-bought.
Is your wife calling
and we
everybody
use-
out right now?
And
Oh,
we
she's
use
not
all
calling me?
homemade stuff. So if we were gonna do apples, we would puree it ourselves and cut it all up.
So you don't care about your own body that much, though.
That's it.
God.
We saw a
And-
funny Instagram reel where it was like, before we had a kid, and the wife made this like elaborate meal, and the husband's like, "Yum!" He's like, "Now that we have a kid," and she throws down a frozen thing,
Yep.
and then goes over to the baby and reveal. It's like a 1-year-old. It
Yeah.
reveals like a steak and potatoes and all this stuff.
But it's frozen for the kid.
And it's the dad's in the
Hashtag
background.
truth.
The dad's in the background pressing the buttons on the microwave, and he looks over at the other kid. It was so funny.
And then the second kid.
Yeah, my wife and I
Everybody
were
gets
both watching
frozen
it.
chicken nuggets.
We were watching
Okay,
it
I'm back.
together, and
Perfect.
I laughed out loud, and she goes, "Why are you laughing?" It's like nothing.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Welcome back. Thank you for taking a short break with us. All right. So you arrive at the Hearth Hammer as the wee twilight morning hours are approaching. You start to see a few people here and there making their way to their jobs this early, and it's picking up every few minutes. You feel like there's more and more people out and about. Again, remembering Hubberduke, they work long hours. It's basically as soon as there's any light in the sky till well past when it's dark, and then they enjoy their evenings and nights with lots of fun and partying and fireworks, and they just work hard, play hard kind of mentality. So you already see a bunch of them who are heading to work and everything, and you pull up in front of the Hearth Hammer, and that warm and inviting, familiar scene of the combination forge and tavern. You are able to park there where there's room in the road, and do you all head inside? Go looking for one of the
I'm
purveyors?
gonna go. The familiar stench of home.
There's just stables around here somewhere for these horses, right?
You roll you don't need to roll. You have a letter up for delivery to Brackhill. As far as you know, all of the livery for the wagon and the animals was under the Hearth Hammer. So,
Oh, okay.
because you guys did not pay for them and everything.
No.
It was part of the arrangement.
I'm going to sit out on the wagon while whoever goes in to find out
yeah.
what we can do with this stuff. I'm not just going to leave it
Smart.
unattended outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit out there with them.
Okay.
All right, then I'll walk on in with whoever's
Let's all
going in.
sit out there as we figure out what the. I'm just kidding. Let's go. Wait, one of us has to go in. One of us has to go in. Now I'll go in.
Okay, so Rowan and Jace.
All right, I'll go
Pete,
with you.
going in as well? Or are you staying?
Oh, if Jace is going, I'm staying. Pete's going too. I'll go.
I got to figure out what's going on with
All right.
the horses.
And say he's taking care of the horses.
Okay, so Pete's checking after the horses. Jace and Rowan walk inside. Surprisingly, the door is open, and you see a refreshed Brackhill there, standing. Not standing, walking around. He also already has a couple of patrons, and is bringing them food. And he looks up and he sees you, and he goes, "Oh, well, I didn't expect to see you gents here today."
And I go, Brackle. And I just give him a hug.
He goes, "Oh," and he's got like 2 plates in his hands, and he like spreads them out so that you don't knock them over as you give him this hug. He says, "Oh, good to see you, lad. Good to see you. 1 second." And he like does like the spin, out of your embrace, and like goes over a couple tables over and like sets them down for the patrons there, who were looking mightily worried that you were going to make him drop his their breakfast, but he made it over. He's a professional.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
He says, "Well, you're rolling in mighty early this morning. Have you guys had some breakfast yet, or shall I rustle something up for you?"
Yes, please. Oh, and Bracco, we have the coffee and we need the supplies. Wait. We have.
I get your meaning, sir.
Yeah, we need coffee pretty bad. We're exhausted.
We need coffee.
He says,
yes.
Just the thing coming up.
Austin, if you had to-
Exhaustion.
Already got a
If you had
pot
to
on.
say on a scale of 1 to 6, how many points we were exhausted? How exhausted would you say?
On a scale.
More like a 1 on exhaustion if we were to rate it. A 1 to 6, Bracco. If you know you
He's
were
already
adventurer,
gone.
you know what
He's
I mean.
already gone to get stuff.
Jace, why didn't you tell me he wasn't here and I was just talking to myself?
What? I thought you were
He
talking
said-
to me.
Have you not been paying attention? I
He's
think we're
pretty
getting
He's
exhausted.
getting
too.
coffee. Yeah, I heard that much.
Yep.
I go for some coffee.
So, within a couple minutes, he comes back and he's got 2 steaming mugs of coffee and
you're
2
so saint.
plates of breakfast. And he says,
We're having
all
coffee
right.
and breakfast and they're out there with the simple.
I would expect nothing less of somebody who makes decisions only for themselves.
Before we move on,
so he
at some
says-
point I want to talk to Theridin outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So he says-
is it-
So he
is
says,
that applesauce? It's delicious.
"Oh yes, freshly squeezed last night, fresh this morning. But it's just the 2 of you today. Where's the rest of the heroes of Hupperduke?"
One of them's tending.
They got the coffee.
What?
The other people that are with us, Rowan.
Oh, yes. I was confused with what you were saying.
They're watching the supplies. It was supply. No, it's fine.
Well, the little guy, the halfling, is dealing with the horses that was brought back, making sure they're taken care of. The loud one and the silent one are watching the wagon and the supplies to make sure no one steals them.
Well, that's a fair job, and I definitely appreciate it. I'll get somebody to take the wagon around back if that's to your liking for the morning. We can unload the supplies later once some of my assistants show up, and then if there's anything else in there that any personal items, we can keep those safe until you're ready to pick them up. But
Yes, and safe and discreet.
oh, it's not hard to do, but we can definitely make sure of it. Absolutely. Is there anything we should be concerned about?
No, nothing to be concerned about. Don't bring an open flame near the wagons.
No, it is kind of incendiary.
Pete, you're not in there.
Okay, I didn't remember if you had said that I was.
Well, you said you were taking care of the horses, I think.
Yes.
So
I have this voice of the
I have a
halfling
ping in
head
my head though. I
that
was
would
like, it's
probably call
incendiary.
fire.
Pete would probably call them incendiary.
Who left the fire druid with the cart of explosives alone?
We
No,
left
you're
them with
not
the
alone.
horses.
Me-
You're
me
with
and
the
Lee-
horses. They're with the
Yeah, me and
supplies.
Lee-
Listen,
with
y'all are
the
there, but y'all are
supplies.
having your own conversation.
You're over with the horses.
Okay. So you're making arrangements for that. Pete, you are attending the horses, and as you are, kind of like, wiping them down, brushing them a little bit, trying to make sure they're okay, getting some water. You hear rather than see Anwin say, "Oh, there's so many people." And she appears to be pretty close to you, like, on the back of the horse or somewhere close by.
Oh, there's a lot more people here than there is out in the wilderness.
If it's all the same, I don't feel comfortable letting everyone see me right now.
Absolutely, you do whatever you need. It's fine.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and stay invisible for now.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see, Pete, you continue to work with the horses there. Lee and Theoden, you're having a conversation.
I guess.
Burden, wanting to talk to you. I've been thinking about it all day.
Hey.
I want to start this off that I agree with you that on this aspect it should have been discussed.
Aye.
If
Hey,
we
that exhaustion, man.
yeah,
All of us.
if we allowed them to live. For me, at the warehouse, killing the unconscious barbarian was, when we discussed it, there was two options. There would have been allowing her to live or killing her.
Aye.
And so that means when we make a decision to kill people, we should talk about it. Or if we make a decision to let somebody live, we should talk about it.
Aye, and that's what I discussed with Jace.
Mhm.
I let them know. I'd stay
I'm-
my hand when it come to killing, much like I did for that warrior.
I did notice that, and I appreciate it. For me, I talked to Rowan. I'm having spent a lot of time out in the world, and you and Rowan, y'all's experience, it's something that I respect quite a bit.
I
on
appreciate that.
On the other side, I have studied with the monks, and I do have certain things that I am very set at. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm extremely tired right now. Some things I'm set in the ways with, and one of those being is second chances. I don't necessarily believe that everybody deserves a second chance, but I know my master at the monastery was a bandit before. He was defeated by another monk and then given a second chance, and now he is one of the most merciful men I know. So I believe when the opportunity arises, we can help allow those people to have the second chance. And if we went around and ended everyone that had made bad decisions in their life, there wouldn't be anybody left to protect. So that was just something I've been meditating on
Aye.
throughout the day, and I don't know if it would help you to meditate on it at all.
Aye, and I've watched the same thing happen, and I've watched someone come back and put the knife in my friend's back because of a second chance given to a higher calling.
For me,
It's
it's
a-
more of,
It's a double-edged sword you walk, monk.
I'll think on that and I'll meditate on it.
Aye. And I'll think
Hasn't
on what
been-
you said.
Mhm.
I find your voice to be a voice of reason when it comes out of it. It seems like you're a gentleman who's invested in the knowledge of something before he acts, and sometimes even Theoden can respect that. So I know when you make a decision on something, monk, it's not hastily drawn, and that I appreciate. And on that note, I will take what you're saying to heart and think on it myself, but understand that my shield and my hammer are for one purpose and one purpose only. And that's to
Aye.
defend me and the people around me, to defend those who are on the side of good, and to get rid of those who are on the side of evil.
I'll try to talk to Jace too and see if I can get him to understand that saving a life is just as important of a decision as taking one,
Aye.
and that it needs to be thought through if we're going to stay together and work as a group, it needs to be decision made as a group.
I yes to understand that my own Morden is a good deity himself, but Morden also had to fight his own demons off in his time.
Well, I'm glad we had to have this conversation.
I am glad too. I don't get to talk to you enough, monk. You seem like a quiet kind. I myself, that's not in my dwarven blood.
All right. So as you come bring the conversation to a close. Rowan, you all have made arrangements. Rowan and Jace come outside to let you guys know, and also.
All right, friends, they're going to store the wagon and keep it out.
I
They
ignore
have
Jason walk
breakfast
off.
ready in here. What? All right. Well, everyone else, there is breakfast inside, and the wagon will be taken care of.
I'm walking inside by him, by the way. As soon as he starts speaking, I just jumped down and went inside, ignoring him completely.
Jace does not care.
Pete, did you hear that? Breakfast.
I did hear that, and I'm almost there, and I'm just talking to the horses, letting them know, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Someone else is gonna take care of you for now. I'm gonna go get some sleep, and you're gonna stay there, and you're gonna get some sleep. So I'll see you later.
Do they
Dart
speak
inside.
English, Pete?
English?
I just heard you talking to
Common.
them. Common.
that one level of exhaustion has destroyed the party.
You're making up weird words, Bart. You need to go to bed.
Sorry, common. I said it in
They understand me well. They know me well enough.
Can I look at the horses to see if they know what we're saying?
They're being currently led away around to the back of the Hearth and Hammer there by one of the assistants of Brackhill's there. And there you see around the back there's kind of a gate that they open into like a gated alley with what looks like a yard in the back, and shutting the gate in there behind it. So okay, so you all head in, and you see Brackhill has placed plates of food on a table there. Jace and Rowan, you notice there's a full 5 plates of food there on the table. Whether you finished what you had earlier or not, he's basically fresh new plates ready to go, coffee and whatever else may be required. You all heartily dig in, having traveled
I take half mine and scoot it onto Pete's plate. Just nod at him and finish my other half.
Since I've already eaten a small meal, I'm going to take a few. Maybe there was like a smaller plate from like a teacup or something that might have been there, a smaller dish, and I'm just going to put some food on it and set it in between Pete and I more discreetly there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna kind of nudge him and see if he catches on to what I was doing.
Is it full of food or is it?
Yeah, there's a few.
Pete's
There's
like,
a
I
few
would
little,
notice it.
few little pieces of food and stuff on it. There's a
Colin,
small plate.
roll.
He's feeding you like his pet.
Colin, roll an insight.
No, I'm
check.
not feeding him. I'm not feeding Colin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or did you catch on to that?
I mean, like
did
I
Pete
caught
catch
that
on
it
to
was. I didn't know if it had food in it or if I was supposed to put food into it.
Oh,
so
yeah, no,
I was
he-
like,
he-
No,
Put
I
it
took
into
some
it.
of mine and put it on there.
gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna mess with it.
So you notice, Rowan, that every once in a while when you glance down, there's food missing. So you seem to have noticed that Anwin took some food. So Brackle comes back and he says, "Well, aye, lads, seems like you were able to accomplish your mission. I definitely appreciate the travels. You see he has the... Did you give him the letter, by the way?
Yes, the letter.
You gave him the letter. He has that and says, I definitely appreciate it. This is going to be good for establishing trade with Shady Creek Run. And in the people there who are setting up shop. But as for your belongings, they are safe at the moment and locked in the yard. If you require anything else or you require rooms, you're more than welcome to. It may be you may be too tired to go up and see it or not, but I do know that your new abode is close to being ready. It's been about 3 weeks now, I believe. And I don't know if you'd like to head directly up there or not, but I could have Kellen come and pick you up here later this morning and take you up there.
Yes, that would. Well, I
Are-
can't speak for the rest of the group,
Are
but
you
if
sure
you
we
guys would like
do
to,
not have any other business in the city?
that's
after
right.
a half
Yeah, so
day or
later
so?
this morning we can go. We have a few more things that we need to do. So
All right, not a problem. I can have him meet you here maybe closer to noon then.
Aye.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I know he's anxious to show you. He's definitely attacked this first project of his with much gusto. And he's definitely dipped into the guild's coffers a little more than some people would like. But I think you'll be pleased.
I'm ecstatic
I'm
to see
excited.
it. Yes.
So, with that, he goes about serving. There's many more customers coming in at this point. You hear a hustle and bustle of activity outside as people are getting up and going to work, and the town is once again in its state of industry. Where else did you want to head? Did you want to head to...
I want to check my spell stone.
Okay.
See if I have any messages.
So you pull it out, and as you pull it out, you get a response. And it is
Good old
your
Tanbar.
contact. Mm-hmm. It is your contact, Tanbar. Tanbar says, "Oh, well, hello. I'm so sorry I missed your message early this morning, but I am up and around, and it is most gratifying news to find that you have recovered these stolen goods. Even if it's not all of them, it would go a long way to easing the fears of the governing parties that we've retrieved them. I actually can send you another message to let you know where to meet up when you're ready." Do you go ahead and respond?
Yes, if I can. We're ready to meet now.
Okay. You wait about a minute or two, and you get a response that says, "Oh, very good, very good. Yes, I might as well get it out of the way. If you will, there is a lesser entrance to the Firemark facility, one that is a lot closer to my workshop, and the guard there will, if you will tell him you are there to meet Tanbar, he will let you in and bring you to me."
Quick question: This is before or after we rest?
We haven't rested yet.
Okay.
If I can say anything back to him, I might just let him know, like, we'll be there as soon as we can. There's a few things that we need to do.
Okay.
And then I'll let the whole group know
Sure.
that conversation.
Okay. So now knowing that delivery of the goods both to the Hearth and Hammer and the goods to the stolen goods to Tanbar are arranged, do you all head directly there after breakfast?
What would you guys like to do? My only concern of the Firemark facility is where these things are being smuggled out of.
I have some minor business, but
yes.
I'm sure I can go and do that on my own. Meet you all back wherever you want. We can all go to the
I'd
Firemark facility
I'd
and
probably
meet
I'd
later.
probably walk next door to see Wilpix.
Yeah.
When,
All right. I mean, I'm quite tired, but if we want to move on with the plan, for sure.
I see somebody go towards Wiltix, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with
I'm
them.
just I just got up after breakfast and started heading over.
All right, so two of
So
you head
would it-
over. Or go ahead.
All right.
I was going to say, would it be better for us to run some errands, possibly get a rest before we were to take these goods anyway.
That was sort
I
of
would-
my thought. But
Okay.
Might be
I can
best
drink more
not to
coffee.
be exhausted and messing up with our words. And
I'll relay that information to Tamba. Let him know that we're probably wanting to have a little bit of a rest before we were to meet up.
Okay. So you send him a message. He responds and says, "Well, that's all quite all right. As long as the goods are safe."
Yes, they are.
So you go over to Wiltix and you hear the familiar hammer and on anvil ringing sound of a forge. You see one of Wiltix's apprentices over there working the forge, hammering away. Don't really kind of pay him mind as you see Wiltix sitting there tinkering away at his desk with all sorts of devices and weird looking sprockets and gears and springs and all sorts of things that just kind of clutter his desk and the shelves behind him. So he looks up and he goes, "Oh, well, hello there. It's good of you. Good to see you all have returned."
Hey, there's me good man, Wiltix. How are you?
Oh, it can't complain. It's another fine day here in Hoppadook.
It's been a bit. We haven't laid eyes on the old sap in a while, sir. I'm just swinging by to see if you got any new wares that might interest an old rough and tumble dwarf as myself.
Oh, well, any new items for sale? Is that what you're inquiring of?
Aye, of course, you speak me language, Wiltix.
Well, I do have, an appreciation for my good customers, and let's see. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of items. Lee, are you with him at the moment?
yes,
I think we all
yeah.
went.
Oh, you all went over there. Okay. Rowan was like, "What items for sale? I'm going to."
I really thought that was the plan, was that we were all
Okay, all
going
right.
to
All
stay
right.
together.
Oh, I
Um,
just left. I just left while they were still discussing things. I just walked off.
yeah, I need to talk.
And
to
if we
Wiltix.
decided we're not going to Firemark, I probably went ahead and got a room.
Okay. Easily enough. I mean, he probably would have gotten that for you ready.
I went to
Although he
sleep.
also, I was gonna say he also was gonna have them take you up to the,
Yeah, to our cave.
there a little bit later in the morning. So. Okay.
All right.
So. Let's see. Wiltix has for you.
I have
today-
likely headed to my place alone while they're all doing this.
to your place.
For the errands you need to run.
Yeah, the errand I'm gonna
Okay.
do later.
All right.
the house he happens to have that nobody
Okay.
knows about.
with just stacks upon stacks of gold everywhere. He's a
Yeah.
filthy rich druid.
He has
And-
a
and
whole
a room-
family living
A
there.
room full of dirt, just full of dirt, and he
Just
thinks
dirt.
that's his vault. He has the gold piled up. He has dirt in the vault.
Absolutely.
They know too much.
That's fantastic.
Time to kill them all.
That's fantastic. Okay, so you actually walk over to Wiltix and he says, "Oh, let me get a few out." And he goes over and he pulls open a chest and comes back and he says, "Again, it's still pretty bare these days with everything going towards the war effort, but I have a few things here." He says, "I have a few potions of healing, if you are interested in that, and as well as one greater potion of healing. The regular potions are 50 gold apiece, and the greater potion is, I believe, 100 gold apiece. I do also have a few items here." And he rummages through and pulls up this little amulet, and he says, "This little thing here, I actually have been working on for some time. Not my design, but a handy trinket that I did create. And this is a Clockwork Amulet. It is you see there's little tiny gears and stuff whirring in there. And he says it's actually an powered extraplanar, and allows you to when when making an attack, you can somewhat change the outcome. Not necessarily the most magical of items, but it has a slight effect on it.
Aye.
And so you see he sets it down on the table there, and he says, and then the another item here is useful for those who are more in with the arcane or more the arcane arts, but if it's called the Ruby of the War Mage, and it is something that allows casters to use maybe a more martial weapon as a casting focus if they desire. And then we have here a spell scroll that looks. Let's see here. Let me find which spell it was. I had it written down here somewhere. You see him rummaging through papers and everything, and you see, pulls it up, and he says, "Oh yes, it's a very simple spell here, but it is a spell of identify."
How much for the spell scroll?
Oh, the spell scroll here is about 100 gold.
I'll take the spell scroll and then 2 potions of healing.
Okay, that'll be 200 gold. Well, let's subtract your guild discount, and it will make it 180.
Thank you. I also had some items I was wondering if you could look at for me, and I'm going to pull out
absolutely.
the Displacer Beast pelt.
Okay. So you pull it out, and he says, "Well, I mean, this is a fine pelt. Although I am not necessarily the most knowledgeable on animals." He kind of looks it over, and he says, "What kind of animal did you get this off of?"
I think they're called Displacer Beast.
Oh, okay. It's quite rare, but not too rare up in the northern parts. Believe they have some magical qualities to them, so that's a good find there, or good collection.
Do you know where I would be able to take it? Perhaps
there
have
are
somebody make it into something.
there are some. If you're wanting it to be in some sort of enchanted item, there are a few enchanters in town. I think some of their shops open a little later in the day.
Hi. Could I have a name of one?
I will have to get that for you. And I'll make sure to get that to you a little later today.
Thank you.
Was there anything else?
That is all from me.
Okay.
No, I suppose I'd like some information about the ruby item you had.
Yes, absolutely. This ruby of the War Mage. It's a fancy name. Arcane people are always naming things, making it sound more impressive than it is. But it is something that, as a caster, if you, it does, you actually can bond it to a more martial weapon, and it will allow you to use that weapon as a spell focus. Also will it does require some time spent with it to properly attune it, but
Interesting. And how much would you like for it?
again, this is not a super rare item, but it is approximately 150 gold.
All right.
But
Um,
with the delivery of goods, I'm sure we can arrange something with your discount.
Sure. Okay, out of character for a second.
Sure.
How's that actually used?
So,
I'm trying to see if I.
No, absolutely. So basically, it allows you to take a martial weapon, okay, some sort of something beyond a simple weapon, which I'm not sure if clerics have, but you could take one and you could use it as a spell focus. Like a rapier or a long sword, like I said, more martial weapons there.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have proficiency with martial weapons.
Okay.
All right.
I do, but I think that it's my words and my movement. So my spell casting is already coming from how I move. Correct? That's how we've been playing it.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of how we've been doing it. As far as a bard is concerned, it is more verbal than it is somatic. So, but I mean, it's up to you. Like I said, it does not provide any kind of plus to attack or anything.
All right. Unfortunately, I don't think I would be able to make use of that, though one of my colleagues might be able to. What about the Clockwork Weapon? What specifically is it do again? It helps with attacks.
So it's a Clockwork Amulet, and just so that you know, it basically, if you roll an attack, you can forego rolling the d20 to get a 10 as an attack.
Okay.
So it's good if your attacks, like I have +7 with my sword.
Yeah, I was going to say, you still come with the modifier?
Yeah, you would still get the modifier, but basically it gives you just an automatic 10 on the attack die roll. Now it's only usable once per day. So,
additional player question to DM: is this from Mechanus?
it is powered from the
Okay, all right.
Mechanus.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yes.
I just a place that I love, and it's cool to hear about it. That's all.
Yes. I mean, you don't know that, but yeah. It is powered from some extra plane that you're unaware of. So.
All right. And what's the asking price for it?
Oh, the amulet is about 120 gold.
All right. I could certainly use some help in that area, so I'll take it.
All right, here you are. He passes it over. He said, "Anyone interested in this greater potion of healing?"
I feel like I could always use some healing potions.
Okay. Again, it's usually 100 gold, but for the discount there, it will be 90 gold.
Are there any regular potions as well, or just the greater?
I think Lee took both those.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab the greater potion of healing.
Okay.
What was my discount? Did I get the guild discount?
Yeah, that was the discount.
He forgot you were in the guild. Okay, how much was the greater
No.
potion with the
No,
discount?
the 120 was the discount.
Gotcha.
And what's the greater potion?
The greater potion of healing?
Yeah.
What does it do?
What's the cost of it?
90. So would be 100.
90.
He made it 90. Lee got basically it was 10 gold off of each. So he took 10 off of the two potions that
Guys, I now have 2 greater healing potions. Plus my amulet. I can drink anything with.
I just found
Still
something,
gonna
so you
die.
might not be the only one by the end of the night.
What?
Just read something. You might not be the only person with greater potions of healing by the end of the night.
Okay. So,
But will you have 2?
Pete, you went off. Where were you headed?
I leave. When I leave, I immediately wild shape into a riding horse, which means I have 60 movement speed, and I am dead sprinting to lay of the land to talk to Zendasa again.
All right.
Apparently
Sounds good.
more than my movement speed.
I'm sprinting. I'm like just
All right.
going through the town, causing
So
all
you make
kinds
it
of
to
ruckus.
lay the land, and
I probably like half stumble up the steps or something as I turn back into a droid and
okay.
tumble into her door.
People are like, "There's a
she's
loose
there,
horse."
and she turns around. And she's like, "Oh, hello, dear. How are you doing?"
Zendasa, I'm great. I've remembered something. The last time we spoke,
yes.
you asked me if any of the people that I was trying to give those sleeping pills to, or those sleeping medicine to, had any sort of allergens. Cats. One of them is allergic to cats for sure. I don't know about the other guy. I don't think he has any sort of allergens, so it should be fine. Can I get that sleeping medicine, those herbs?
Well, it'll take me a little to prepare some. I don't have any on me at the moment. I mean, that was,
That's fine.
I think about a week and a half ago or so, maybe. But yes, we can definitely get that for you. And was there anything else I can help you with, dear?
Yes, I have in my pack. I have an herbalism kit with me that I'm pretty good at using, but I've realized that I may be able to make a bit more with it if I spend some time. So, do you have any either recommendations or any supplies that I could use to make healing potions?
Oh, I can gather a few things for you and have them later today. I don't have all of my stock here in the shop proper. They're out in my different gardens and such. But yes, I think I could gather some things for you.
If I could purchase a list of things that I need to make, regular potions, greater potions of healing, different things like that, as well as just some of the components to be able to make them, and perhaps I'll be able to find the other ones out in my travels.
Oh yes, I think that would. We can definitely work on getting a list for you as well. So, yes, I'll have that ready as well with a few of the ingredients. We'll have to see how much I have.
And whatever you think the price is going to be, add 10 to it.
Well, that's very generous of you. I won't have the price until I know everything that I have. But if you're going to be around, I will try to get that to you later today.
I'll be close enough in the area. I think I'm planning to leave about noonish, maybe a little bit later.
Sure, today, tomorrow, it's all, I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. I look forward to coming back and seeing you again later. Thank you very much.
Right, great to see you.
I rush out the door.
Okay, so you head back over to the Hearth and Hammer. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Okay. So you head back. About the time that you get back and you guys are coming back over into the tavern side of the Hearth and Hammer, you see the young gnome, Kellen, approaching. And he says, Oh, hello, heroes, how are you?
Hello.
And he's like, Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. I got
Yes.
Brackhill's message that you were back and that you were interested in seeing the. Well, I don't really know what you were calling it. I just I've been calling it the lair still. So if you have a name, please let me know. But I've been working hard and the crews have been working hard and took a few. I think you're going to be impressed. I think you're going to be really excited for it. There's still a section that's under construction, so please bear with me. But you guys can feel free to make any changes you wish. And but I'm just so excited for you to see it. So, whenever you're ready, let's head up. I'd love to show you.
Yeah.
We need to be an
All right.
owlbear.
You need to be an owlbear.
Yes.
Big
All
Ellen,
right.
we are ready and we are excited.
All right.
Very
So
excited.
you wrap up your stuff there, and you start heading up with Kellen to the retreat, mountain retreat, whatever. We're going to have to come up with a name for it, guys. So think on that this week. But yes, join Owlbear. Here is the link. And everyone on the VOD will get to see the newly renovated mountain retreat, former lair of Stallmast. So
The Heroes of Hupperdook.
Where's the
Hideaway.
Owlbear?
I just linked it.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be able to see it on the VOD better than I can on my computer.
Oh no. I mean, if you do it on your computer, you can at least zoom in.
That's true.
So, but I will do a little bit of that as well. So, let me know when you are all there.
I'm in. So
I'm there.
excited.
Mm.
I'm going to take a wild guess. The handsome one is Rowan.
I did that last time. No one caught it.
All right, here we go.
Goodness
Oh.
Oh
I'm
my
going to burn
goodness.
Jace's room
So-
down.
Lit. Rowan's room.
Haven't even found my room yet. Oh, okay, I found it.
It's
Oh,
right where
So-
you called it. Like,
Everyone had called their rooms previously, and everything was converted. So,
of
for
course
those on
Rowan's
this,
got that room.
for those on the stream, let's start with Rowan's room because he left it pretty much the
This is
same.
awesome.
But yes, he has the fanciest room of all. It was
Oh, this is
Stallmast's.
super high def.
It was Stallmast's
Yeah.
original room. So he has like the big king size feather bed, got the big, curtains on it, everything. He's got 2 side tables. He's got the rug. He's got the plush chair for the desk. And if you remember, there was the secret passageway. And so you have it was a little, so as you're going through, well, first, so sorry, we're showing that off, but you know what? We've got to start at the beginning, actually. So you come through the waterfall. You come through the waterfall entrance, as you did previously, but instead
Look
of
at the new
the
ballista.
Yes, instead of the dank, nasty, chained area where you found your friend and colleague imprisoned
Was it
there, Nima. You now find a heavy wooden door entryway with a window with a that same crossbow, that same automatic crossbow has been moved and now faces outward, as well as a guard post for them to see out into this area. You see also a guard chamber as you pass through the big heavy wooden doors. You see chests and cabinets for visitors if you trust them less to put weapons or belongings in, as well as a guard table there. And then you see a set of double steel doors there, the doors that were there previously. So then moving in, you do come back to the main entrance, and coming in, yes, absolutely right there. Okay. You come in and you see to the left there is now the guard bunks where the guards will sleep, and there are 4 of them presently, and they have everything they need there. Kellen walks through and he says, "Oh yes," and then down this way, if you remember, we went ahead and installed some heavy doors there as well to go ahead and guard the way to the workshop and the blasting powder vault, if you will, that is there, gunpowder, what have you. It kind of takes you back out and goes through. We cleared out all those wretched tables that the kobolds were using. They were nastily scarred, and brought in some real tables. Just a couple small ones here for you all, as well as opening up the kitchen, and you see there's now like a bar with some seats there as well in the kitchen, as well as everything kind of seems to be cleaned up. You do see as you continue on, the jail is cleaned up a bit. Everything's just kind of in better order. There's a couple little like side tables with stools for guards to sit at. You go into the study that was Stallmaster's study. The table's cleared away. There's some of the books and stuff that he had. He didn't have a whole lot of books, but they're there on some shelves. And then he says, "Oh yes, and then for the secret tunnel, I did actually move it to where the bookcases, rather than having to slide them out of the way, they actually are on a hidden track." And you see he like reaches up and kind of grabs a book on the shelf, right, and it slides out of the way along the wall, leading you to the passage where he says, we also did some exploring on the mountain above here, and have rerouted some things, and we opened up an escape tunnel for you, if you will, here. So there's this staircase, and he kind of points the spiral staircase that goes up, so that there's not just one way in or out. It is secured on the outside, and you all will be shown what to look for, but it is well hidden up there. And then also opening the, you all, of course, will be able to open them, but there's the same thing with this one into Master Rowan's room. The bookcase slides over to it, and you go through Rowan's room there, and you see all of the opulent decor once again. You see, you go out through Rowan's room, and you see now what had been Stallmaster's lair. His main forge has been vastly converted. Imagine less plants because, obviously,
Working on it,
yeah, they've brought in some plants. They're not experts, but they've brought in some, and this is what it will eventually look like when Pete is finished with it. But there is no longer the giant forge in the middle. You actually see a waterfall and a pool. And Kellen comes to you and says, we actually, when removing the forge, were able to trace the paths of the exhaust pipes that he had up there. And through that carved holes, we were able to reroute some water and bring some water down in here, as well as using a clever bit of mirrors by Wiltix, actually, bring in some natural light. And you do see the space of this garden area in the middle of the day is brightly lit, almost as if there's, natural light coming in. Solitubes, okay? It's basically solitubes, okay? Bringing in that natural light. Yeah. You see, a path going around and everything. Continuing on through, you see, he says, we did not clear the path through that caved-in section of the tunnel, but went ahead and installed a better door over it as well. You see, Lee's room was the former ambassador's room. Also has a very nice bed and desk. With everyone has, of course, like a chest of some kind there as well. You see the training ground here with the dummies set up and weapons racks and some desks and stuff as well. You still have the shark room. They have not, Kellen, we have not gotten to that yet. I figured Master Pete might have some ideas. Also, to save on cost, we thought about taking some of the metal plates on the floor. We could replace them with grates, or if you want part of it to be open, we could do that. But we could take some of those metal plates and maybe reinforce the gunpowder room.
Maybe a better idea than just having the sharks underwater.
Yeah,
But
you
also
know,
at the same time, we don't really want to have any mistakes with that.
absolutely. We
Yes.
can
What do we
definitely,
do with them?
we can, yeah, definitely feed them. They will get hungry
Di-
or die if you don't.
Yes, I
Um,
mean, I suppose we keep them at this. Like we have to
Oh.
keep them.
Well, you're going to take them somewhere else so that they can live.
we can try to arrange something. I mean, it's.
No, I was talking
I-
to Jace.
I mean,
yes,
I
if you
kind of
like.
assumed Pete would want to keep them, but I
Yeah,
don't.
you're absolutely right.
But do they like it here? Because there's not a lot of room for them to swim. There's kind of.
Oh, well, I think
Looking
anyway.
looking at it, you see the tank. You know, looking at the squares, it's about 40 feet long, 40 by 20. You know, they're not giant sharks. They're like, they're probably all of,
How does one
6
get
to
a
8 feet
shark
long.
all the way in here? This is my.
Maybe they were big.
I never thought about it until now. How?
I mean,
Maybe they
you're
were
in
little.
the
Next to
middle
the
of
ocean.
the mountains.
And there's
Yes.
sharks here. We didn't even question that when we. I'm impressed.
I don't know.
There is the workshop. Obviously, it's a little bit better organized. In fact, where the Kobold Armory was, they have it set up as a tinkering workshop at this point, so that Rowan and anyone else interested in tinkering can have access to that. And also, there's more than just the gunpowder in there. There was some other bits and stuff in there. So. Let's see. The steam room now is you see a fountain in there. As Kellen explains, we rerouted a lot of the water pipes and steam pipes that he had, and in rerouting water, we were able to provide some more running water to the lair here. All right, so you have Theoden's room very close to his forge. Simple as he requested. A nice, added a door, so he's got that. But he has quick access to his forge. And you see that it's stocked, and there's bellows and the anvil and all the tools that you need. There's also, ingots of ore and stuff there for you. So... Jace, they converted the former surgery room where they were adding the things in the kobolds to Jace's room, and then kind of made the outside there of his room the triage area. So the master healer has a place to heal.
Yes, excellent.
And then Pete's room, the odd-shaped but largest room for the smallest hero. They're just off
Plenty
of
of
his
space for
garden.
him to be shaped.
Yes, exactly.
I was just thinking that.
That's not too
Practicing
bad idea.
be shaping into giant animals.
Yeah. So, anyway, hey, hope you guys like it.
I love
like
it.
it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Amazing.
That's
So-
awesome.
All right, I'm retiring, guys. No more adventuring for Thursday.
Yeah. So for those watching,
This is
Seth
where
did
it
this built this completely,
Mhm.
like
This is awesome.
by hand.
Yes,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
it is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is an epic map.
I
This is
mean, I did
amazing.
have the template of the original map to go by, but
Yeah, but still, man,
Still.
this is crazy.
Still, you placed
Awesome.
every single individual wall.
Looking at
item,
it, like
like-
it doesn't look anything like the old map, other
Right.
than the outline shape.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nothing looks the same. It looks so much better.
let's see. Do I still have the old
This was
one?
better than anything I think we even said. When the original, like,
yeah, no,
if you go back to our Discord things with like the little drawing he did,
So
like
here's
this looks
the
way better than that.
here's the drawing that we did for
Oh,
those
Lord.
of you that know.
Are you pulling it
remember.
up?
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's in
boy.
there now. So.
yeah,
Oh Lord.
Plants.
I love that there was just
Plants.
trash everywhere.
There
Yeah.
was. There was.
Pete heels reborn R.
You gotta have those restrooms, man. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the restrooms.
See them. They're right next to Third
Oh,
room.
yeah.
It's probably good.
Yeah, there's the baths, and
I mean, I
Yes.
wouldn't need that side. I need
stuff
the
like
other
that.
side.
The under construction side down there, if you noticed it, they, we talked about it being, a
I think it was like listed as
guest
guard rooms
quarters
on
or
the
something.
time.
We talked about doing the guard rooms, but then I made the entrance kind
Hey,
of
you
the
got it perfect.
Right, the
you know,
bunks.
But
stuff
yeah,
like
it would make
that,
more
so.
sense because if anybody came in, we want the guards
So
to be
It's
it'll,
awesome.
we'll either make it, more rooms / maybe like, maybe put you like a long banquet table in there or something. You can.
Oh,
Ooh,
feasts.
that's kind
Yeah.
of cool.
I'm surprised Rowan's not sitting here complaining about how far away he is from his perfect little bath.
Since when has Rowan taken a bath?
I mean, Rowan can also just go out and get in the pool from the waterfall. So
Oh,
so
he
it's-
starts bathing in Pete's garden.
I thought that was the point.
That's how it'll work.
yeah, I'm already.
Oh,
I'm
man.
already. Rowan's already skinny dipping in that waterfall pool.
oh,
Pete's
and
garden.
then the
The
tannery.
next student class will be Rowan
Yes.
and Pete.
Yes. The tannery.
Just-
So
Comes out randomly to grow flowers, and there's Rowan in all his glory just running around.
With the perfect leaves, specially placed.
yep.
Oh,
yeah, so-
Lord. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
How it started and how it is.
Excellent.
So-
Fantastic, Seth.
Yeah,
Thank
looks
you.
awesome.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
So
Is that script down there in the bottom?
I sure hope so. I sure hope so.
I don't know.
Like seeing this all like reminded me of Scrit and how much I miss him.
Honestly,
I
seeing
know.
this reminded me of the first time we got together and cleared this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about the fact that like he had 99% of this dungeon was literally just walked by the first time we came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, we just literally
we
did.
went directly
Yeah.
up, went through the secret
Yeah,
passageway,
found the
killed the
secret
boss,
passage.
and left.
Yeah. And then we were
That's
like,
right.
all right, see ya.
Yeah.
was good
Forgot
times.
about that.
Yep, you had to, and then you didn't clear it. You
God.
like left the same way so that like
We
there was
did.
still.
We didn't touch
Right.
anything else. We had to
Yeah.
come back and clear all the
But
kobolds out after
it
the
also
fact.
because you did that you let the
The dark elf got away.
Drow.
the
Yeah.
drow get away. So
Oh, that's
Yep.
very true.
awesome. Well, hey, we're still live recording, so hey, thank you all
Yeah.
for joining us.
Yeah.
We will post a picture of the cool new layer
Amazing.
because it's amazing.
Mhm.
But join us next time for the amazing adventures of the Hearth Hammer crew. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless.